So, one of the things that you often hear people who are not familiar with horses or who have only had horses in a rural area is that horses are prey animals that spook and run whenever something scares them, and that there's no amount of regulation that would prevent horses from spooking. So that's either because someone has not actually worked with a horse and learned that horses learn. Horses are very adaptable. So if horses really spooked over everything in the city, you wouldn't be hearing about incidents once in a while. You would be hearing about them every single day, every single second, because horses would be spooking at everything every single second. So why don't you? Why is that not happening? We have had maybe like 99% of the incidents that you've heard about in the news here and there, of things going wrong, with horses that are new to the city. It takes a very long time. There are different stages when a horse is adapting to the city and learning who their person is and getting to know them, that the horse isn't, where a horse will be in 5 years in the industry when they're here only, 3 to 6 months. There's a difference there. It becomes a lot easier to de-escalate situations with your horses the longer they're here. And the way to stop a horse from spooking, you develop a partnership with them. You get that horse to trust you. That trust overrides their instinct to run or spook or jump or anything like that. And horses will signal to you when they're thinking about doing that. It could be just their head slightly raises a bit. It could be the ears are pointed straight forward. Their attention's no longer on you and their job. And you have to always be on the lookout for anything coming up behind you, anything in front of you, anything coming along this side, that side. Think about where you want to put your horse, how your horse best deals with something. If they have a small reaction sometimes, that's fine. If you just let the horse bottle it up, that's going to be worse. It's better to let that horse do his little thing and then keep going once he's over it. Every horse is different. You got to get to know your horse. With my horses, usually it's just talking to them. That's all I have to do. I see that his attention goes to something else. I use his name, tell him good boy. If he's doing something I don't want him doing, I might alternate. I might use the angry voice mixed in with the happy tone. This way, he's not thinking, oh, she's just yelling at me and now she's angry at me and now I'm even more stressed out because now my person's mad at me on top of this thing I'm scared of. So the good voice, the positive, like, okay, good boy, voice is also mixed in there to calm him down, even though I don't like the behavior he's doing. There's different techniques for every horse. There's different styles to do it. But if my horse runs a couple of steps, that's okay. Then he comes back down. If my horse jumps a little one way or the other, a little buck or something, that's fine. Just don't want it to be bigger than that. Just now, we had a man on a pogo stick come through the park. My horse doesn't mind cars honking. He doesn't mind trucks flying by. He doesn't mind cement mixers. He doesn't mind jackhammers. He doesn't mind things that are in a city that you might think would spook a horse, because those things are familiar to him. He was out in nature, grazing somewhere. He couldn't be spooking at everything all the time. He has to learn what is something that's going to spook him and what is something he knows does not attack, that he can relax and graze and not have to worry about. So it's the same in the city. My horse had never seen a man on a pogo stick before. Is this man jumping up and down because he's coming to attack him? He's going to bounce right up into him? So he didn't do anything. But his head was high up, his ears were up, and he was looking at it. So with my hands on the lines or reins when you're riding, there's very small movements you can do, giving a little bit of pressure on them, not turning them, not pulling, but just small gestures that remind your horse you're there, brings their attention off of what they're about to overthink, and it gives them an out. They don't like the thing on the left, you're giving attention on the right, they know I don't have to get close to the thing. I can go to the right. Not fully turning, just small amounts of pressure, because the bit in the horse's mouth is what we use to communicate with them when we're driving them. I also use my voice. When I see his head is going up, I use his name, remind him he's good, I'm back here, I'm not concerned about the thing coming along, and he doesn't have to be either. That's all it takes. So when I hear about people who are like, well, my horse could never be in the city and this and that, that's fine. Don't bring your horse here. But if you have a horse that is adaptable and smart, that you really have a partnership with, that very well could be a horse that can be adapted to be in a city. Our horses will be here anywhere between age 5 to 26. They may work here 10, 15, almost 20 years. They could. They won't have a single accident because they're not spooking all over the place. They are listening to their person. They are relaxed because they know these things around them are not things that they have to worry about. And it works. So I always just think when someone says something like, you know, my horse should spook all over the place, a horse is already spooking other things in the city, I'm like, well, you don't have a very good relationship with your horse. That's all I can think, you know. Some horses might be a little more high-strung and not cut out for this work. We would never make a horse like that work here. What benefit would that be to anybody? That would be such a stressful time all the time. That would be taking a risk. This is not something that frequently goes wrong. This is something that things rarely go wrong, which is why it's news. This is happening all the time, like car accidents. When's the last time you saw just your regular, you know, fender bender in the news? Do you think it would be in the news if it was a carriage horse? So it's really frustrating that politicians, like, you know, get away with defaming our industry, like spreading all this false slander about us and about our treatment of horses that's just not true. Things are just not happening frequently. And the public hears this, and all of a sudden they think there's something wrong with what we're doing, or that our horse is not happy, or that they're not well cared for. And none of that is true. And then you perpetuate that for years and years. What are people going to believe? So I think the city owes us something. They owe us something big. Undo this crap that they've been doing against our industry, talking about getting rid of it and all of this stuff. Most people like the horses. Most people are not stupid. Most people can see these horses doing well here. And there's absolutely no reason that you should be talking about doing away with them. Horses built our cities. They've been here since the beginning. They are not spooking at everything. They are smart. And maybe, you know, you think they don't have a voice. They have no trouble communicating with us because we know how to read them. We know how to read their body language and their expressions. And we know how to respond to them. I can't force my horse to be calm and relaxed, but I can reassure him everything is okay so that he will decide to be on his own. There's no overpowering the horse. There's no need to. You just do that with the way you treat the horse.